What's going on, everybody? It's Monday night, November something. I don't remember the exact day. It's one of those days.
16th.
The 16th. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We have an interesting night for you all tonight. Those of you that are joining live and those of you that are watching after the fact, we have our thoughts on the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We have what is the better movie, and we're going to break it down into categories. Halloween 5 versus Halloween H20. I'm not a really big fan of either, so I kind of feel like this is Kieran versus Mike. Completely unintentional.
You son of a bitch!
We're talking Star Wars tonight. All sorts of drama going on over there as usual. And then we have AEW to cap off the night. We're going to talk a little bit about AEW Full Gear and what's next for that company. But right off the top here, without further ado, we're going to talk. I usually don't get to do this on this show. We're going to talk about this.
Play something. Somebody play something. Oh, shit. It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pickle Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Scary Terry show. Lick my balls show. Szechuan sauce show. It's the fucking Rick and Morty fan show, bitch.
All right, so we're kind of putting him on the spot here. I don't think he has a statement prepared or anything like that. I think he's winging it. And he just woke up too, so there's that. Kieran, why don't you give us an update on the Rick and Morty fan show and what the plan is moving forward? I will say there is a part 2 to this announcement. This is a 2-part announcement, but the second part can't be announced until Johnny is on. So, Kieran, take it away, man.
Yeah. So it's like this. Obviously, Rick and Morty is currently not in season, and it makes it kind of difficult for them, for us to talk about new material when it comes to Rick and Morty. So we're going to postpone the Rick and Morty fan show until season 6 heats up. Not only because there's not a lot to do when it comes to Rick and Morty, but because we have so many other things we want to talk about right now. We're loading up to do House of the Dragon soon. We got lots of other things we're going to talk about. We got an announcement later that we're going to fill some of that time in. But yeah, it just seems like there's not a lot to talk to, and I don't want to go on every week and bring a show that's not, exciting. It's not something I'm excited about if there's nothing to talk about. So I want to make sure you guys get really quality Rick and Morty fan shows. We've been doing great. This season we had some shows that hit like really crazy amounts of views, immediate reaction videos. So we'll make sure to do that when season 6 happens again. But as it stands, there's just not that much to talk about when it comes to Rick and Morty at the moment.
Jody asks, "Where's the merch?"
Where's the merch? For season 6, I'm not sure what Jody means for that.
They did announce.
I definitely have lots of merch.
They did announce though that season 6 will debut in 2022. No multi-year wait for you guys this time, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the 70 episode order. This recent season was part of that, so I guess we got 60 left. But when that comes in and you get all that money, you make sure that your show's got all the right staff and everything that it needs to run every year instead of the previous Rick and Morty that you had to wait for. So yeah, I'm excited. I predicted a long time ago that it's going to be on track now because I know a lot of the people that they hired, and I know that they have a much bigger staff than they've ever had before. So I figured that would happen, and I'm really excited for season 6 because it's wide open what they can do. They just blew the doors off of everything that the fans wanted. They gave the fans all the answers they wanted, and now there's new questions. You know, we need to come up with new questions. So I think it'll be super exciting. But yeah, we'll get back into it before season 6. But you know, when season 6 starts to heat up and we start to get rumors about the directors and writers and possible guest talent, and you get interviews with the Rick and Morty crew. But yeah, so we're gonna do that, and later we'll tell you what's gonna kind of replace that time.
Yes, there's already something lined up for that. So, but it's been kept secret even from most people at the channel. So, and yet there's video to debut. So obviously some stuff has been going on behind the scenes. I think the Rick and Morty fan show, if Kieran intends to, could be a lot like what we're intending for House of the Empire, where whenever that show debuts, it's 10 episodes long. You know, you might have 5 or 10 episodes lead into the season, and then you recap all the episodes, and then maybe another 5 or 10 after the season. So not like an all year round show, but a seasonal show, even if it ends up being like a half year show. And that doesn't mean Kieran, whenever there's big news, can't come on here and do a random pop up Rick and Morty fan show, because it's definitely possible. And I could totally see him 2 weeks from now being like, yeah, so.
Well, we're still gonna follow it, right? You know, if there's a big news, if there's big news to do with Rick and Morty, then it'll probably be here.
No, absolutely. So without further ado, hang on. I was reading our private chat in StreamYards.
I mean, that could be a good show.
It sounds like an OnlyFans show. All right, let's go around the round table. Let's introduce everybody tonight. Mikey Bish, man, what's new with you, dude? How you been?
Good, man. I swear it feels like a month since we did last week's show. It's gone by so slow. But definitely good to be here. Got a good conversation tonight. Like I said, I think I'm gonna go head to head with Kieran tonight. But no, I'm excited to be here, man, and excited to get to rolling, man. It's like I said, it's been a slow week, at least for me. You know, I know it's been a tough week for you and your family, so definitely had you all in my prayers. And but yeah, it's time to get rolling.
It's a lot better now than it was this time last week, when we were getting no sleep. And yeah. Also joining us tonight, he's a tired man. He's been doing all sorts of things, but he's toughing it out for us. It's Tommy B.
Yeah,
with his Larry David glasses. Gotta love it. What's going on, man?
Fucking hell. You know, all this shit, and now I'm on here. We're going to talk about this fucking trailer.
you know,
And then we got to talk about these fucking Halloween movies. They're decades old.
you know what I love about Tommy is when he has a bad fucking week or is just doing bad, he'll fucking express it. Me, I'll just say I'm fine. I'm doing good. But as soon as Tommy gets on the mic, it's a fucking rap, and I love it.
I appreciate it. I'm actually not doing all that bad right now. Just a bit tired. But I'm hanging in there. You know, it's all good for the most part. We'll see
Good.
once we get to the Halloween movies.
Melissa says it's been a long time since Fandom's been on. I need to make so the Fandom Empire show is still a thing, still gonna go. But as soon as the kid got sick, that's it. Like, that's the most important thing. All this is secondary. Don't get me wrong. I love our audience. I love our community. It's great. But like, it's no contest. My kids are the channel, and it's the kids. It's that simple. And then Kieran and I went and got our heads caved in a baseball tournament this weekend. So there was that too. So that was an interesting turn of events. There was no finals appearance from us this time. Kieran, how about you, man? How's it going, dude? I know That must be a little bittersweet, taking a little bit of a break from Rick and Morty, but we do have that other thing that we can't quite talk about yet that I'm not going to lie. I know you and I have been talking behind the scenes. We're pretty stoked to just talk about that stuff.
I'm to be
How
honest, I am really like I need a reload right now anyways. I feel like pretty drained, like just personally right now. So a lot of it, like me being tired today and waking up just before the show, is because I started a new diet, and that's takes a while to get used to that. Eating healthy food drives your body crazy. You're like, what the fuck? Where's my sugar? Where's my fat? Where's my bagels? Where the fuck is all the stuff? Like my body is just like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Like we have a good relationship.
What kind of diet are you
And just a healthy diet right now. Like I had for lunch, I had a salad and some cut up peppers, and I had some beef stir fry that we had from the night before.
Nice.
Just lots of vegetables. Lots of vegetables. I know how to diet, and I know this process very well because I used to do it for wrestling all the time, but man, I'm getting too old for this shit. So yeah, right now I'm just tired. I'm like not just my body or my mind, like my soul is tired right now. So I feel like I need to I feel like I'm excited about this new announcement because I need to get hyped up for something new, and I'm excited.
I mean, just like in terms of theatrical releases coming up that I hope we have a chance to see together. You got Resident Evil, which comes out next week or the week after. And the last thing I seen to that, I never did get a chance to do a reaction to it, but the last thing I seen for that was released last week. Can't remember if it was a TV spot or just another short trailer, but like felt so much like the video games, the 1 and 2, that it was like, oh, okay, now I'm buying what you're selling. It looks a little, corny, but it looks a lot more like the video games than the other live action movies did. So
it is. It's 100%. It looks 100%. It looks like they recreated the video games. It's it should be interesting. The only thing I'm worried about is the acting.
Yeah,
when you do that,
they're using a bunch of TV actors too. Believe me, that is a thing to look out for in film. I know it's not as prominent now, but usually when you see a cinematic release hire a bunch of TV actors, it's usually not the greatest sign. I know there's more crossover now than there used to be, a lot more, but all these ones are very much TV actors. Super chat in from Mr. Matt Whitfield. Who's that guy? Why is there any competition between H5 and H20? There's none. So you managed to send in a super chat, ask that question, but
Didn't
not
even
actually tell us. Yeah, didn't give his answer.
Yeah, I think me and Mike both think you're right.
Typical Matt.
He probably fell asleep before he
until we get
finished
to
that.
the actual segment. The actual segment. Let's not ruin it.
What? Oh yeah, I forgot. This is a segmented show where we follow the rules all the time.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I think.
So shut up.
I think that's the afternoon show. Speaking of like diet shit, so Kieran, I'm trying to follow your advice here. I picked up like flavored water, and there's 0 sugar, 0 calories, and let me tell you, it tastes like it. It's a tough one.
I want to just roll back for a second, and I want to acknowledge that you said you were following Kieran's diet advice. Whereas I've given diet advice for a very long time now, because I tend to be a pretty healthy person, even though I'm fucking stuffing my face with cocoa and cookies right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
but
good.
yet again, like everything else, fuck Tommy B. Fuck my suggestions.
Oh man, if he's saying fuck Tommy B now, wait till he sees the video that drops later.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Oh, and I really wanted to surprise you with this too. So just might not get the reaction I was hoping for.
Think I'm gonna be cosplaying as Terrence by the time the night's over.
Where is that guy, by the way? Again, the last time I heard from that guy, he ended up in the wrong movie theater and was sitting in Dune, and virtually haven't heard anything from him since.
I don't know. Maybe he is Tommy B. There's been speculation that it's actually Tommy B the whole time.
I totally see the resemblance. I definitely think he looks more like Tommy B than you, for sure.
They got similar opinions, and like they lose their shit a lot.
Tommy B.
Don't you tell me that I lose my shit.
Oh shit.
Tommy coming in with the emotional baggage today.
All right. Let's dive into topic number 1 for this show. We are talking Spider-Man No Way Home. The trailer is here.
Why are there 3 Spider-Mans on the screen?
Yeah, legit. What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Did you make that yourself? Is that like a fan edit?
Well, I didn't make it. I'm not that gifted. I made that. I didn't make this. Yeah, so word's been going around the internet now for a little while. Specifically, and when I say a little while, it's probably like the last day and a half. That they decided they weren't going to show Toby and Andrew in the trailer, but they would just tease at them. And the first time I watched it, I was trying to like do a trailer reaction, and my phone kept screwing up. And I'm like, fuck it, I guess I'm not doing one. So I didn't get one. So I wasn't really paying attention. My mind was elsewhere. And then I watched again, and like, I think it's a really good trailer. I like it a lot. There's definitely hints and teases of Toby and Andrew in this trailer. Some subtle, some not so subtle. Again, take it for what it's worth. You don't have to believe us. I'm just reiterating what we have heard and what most people have heard is they're in the movie, and they're in the movie very prominently. I just don't know how I feel about not showing them in the trailer.
Well, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I think it's fucking stupid at this point. This is a fucking worse kept secret than Dr. Loomis in the fucking flashback. Like, God, the whole motherfucking general public knows about it at this point. I don't know who they're trying to surprise.
From a marketing perspective, and I'm no marketing major, drive a bus for a living. Drive a bus for a living. Anyway,
it sounded like you regretted that decision. Like, I drive a bus for a living. You're like, fuck, I drive a bus for a living. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, I get that. I know that vibe right there.
I hold, 50 lives in my hand every day, so it's an important job.
I didn't say it was. It just looked like you thought it was for a minute.
Today was the type of day where I didn't want to go back to that job. We'll just say that. I just, again, from a marketing perspective, I get what they're doing here. They're doing the CM Punk thing with AEW. The worst kept secret in Hollywood. The NDAs prevent Garfield and Maguire from confirming anything. Garfield's latest denial, like, if you didn't see the leaks already, which are true, to my knowledge anyway, then you would probably believe the guy that he's not in the film. I mean, he's one hell of an actor. He's an Academy Award nominated actor. He might have even won. I can't remember. It was Hacksaw Ridge, I think he got nominated for. But like, again, I get it. This is going to be the big question, are they in the movie? Are they not in the movie? Let's go see the movie to find out. They want that big opening weekend box office number. The problem with that is they're debuting the movie over in the UK and other countries 2 days before North America. So guess what's going to happen? It's going to be everywhere, which is why I just don't know why they couldn't have come out and showed them.
We're gonna get all them shaky cell phone videos in the freaking movie theaters.
I mean, Tom Holland's last interview, he was asked if they were in the movie, and he literally didn't say anything. He did not answer the question. He just went back and forth between Zendaya and whoever the other guy was. Didn't answer the question. It was just like he didn't even say no or I don't know. He just didn't answer it.
I know I have no way of confirming this, but there was rumors that they had 5 different trailers ready for this one. And they chose one, and it's, again, I really like the trailer. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I'm a huge Willem Dafoe guy, so like whenever you get Willem Dafoe, it's like fucking right. Just listening to him talk, I could listen to a Willem Dafoe audiobook. It is fantastic. But yeah, just thoughts on the trailer, guys, and maybe thoughts on them not showing Toby and Andrew again, but hinting at them several times, and we have some images to show some of the hints.
Honestly, I think I think they might just be going for the fact that people know, but I think we're gonna get a little bit more of a moment in the theater when they do show up, where everybody claps and everybody, I mean, I doubt everybody's as frustrated as you are about it.
Oh, I'm not frustrated. I know what's happening. So like for me, it's cool. I'm a little bit bummed for.
But I think you're frustrated about the marketing for it.
Well, it depends. I have 2 takes. Obviously, as a consumer and somebody who loves Spider-Man, yeah, obviously I wanted to see them. I thought they could have had their big Han Solo, Chewie, we're home moment at the end of the trailer. At this point, the secret's out. Why not? But the secret's really only out for, diehards, and I don't mean diehard Spider-Man fans, just diehard fandom fans, my neighbor down the street, who probably has seen all the Spider-Man movies but would never go on YouTube to watch anything, is going to have no idea Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield are in this film, and they'll be stunned, right? Or they'll hear hearsay about it. So I get marketing it in that. Marketing wise, it's hard not to call anything they've done genius, because there has never been any movie trailer online or movie online that has received the hype that this movie has. That includes The Force Awakens, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. It's outrageous, and they have hardly had to do anything. So in a way, it's kind of genius. So I don't disagree with the marketing. I'm just saying, selfishly, as a fan, I would have liked to see it instead of waiting for December 17th. So
that makes sense. I just feel like we're more likely to get more of that moment where everybody claps. The first one that comes to mind is when Wonder Woman showed up in the Batman versus Superman movie. I remember everybody in the theater just clapping and be like, "Oh my God." And I think that moment might be a little bit bigger because they haven't shown it in the trailer yet. And I mean, if you're smart enough and you see the trailer and you're like, wait, the Dr. Octopus from the previous Spider-Man movies in it, that's like, why would they not have? The trailer kind of explains itself. But I think it'll be exciting, and I like the new trailer. I kind of felt the same way I did about the Batman second trailer, where it was like, well, that was cool, but it didn't give me anything more than the previous trailer. I don't think it really added anything. I think it was a great trailer, but it didn't add to my excitement all, to be honest.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I thought it was a well done trailer, but I kind of agree with Kieran. It didn't get me any more hype than what I already am. I honestly really didn't care either way if I saw Toby and Andrew. I mean, there was at points in the trailer, because the hints were there, that I thought they were going to pop up on the screen, especially those last few seconds when they decided to come back on screen. But the hints are there for sure. And yeah, I'm just excited for this movie. It's probably, outside of Kills, one of the most anticipated movie of the year for me. I really enjoy these films, and I don't know as far as marketing wise. I kind of agree with you, Sean. I know exactly what they're doing, and the average Joe down the street isn't going to know, so he's going to be shocked as shit in the movie theater when all three of them pop up on screen. My dad is, he's not a big Marvel guy or anything like that, but he's seen all the Spider-Mans and he can't wait for this film. He has no idea that Toby and Andrew are in this film at all. I mean, I'm not going to tell him, but I mean, I can tell you when it happens, his excitement's going to be through the roof. Like he's going to get like, I get what Kieran's saying too. Like it's just that movie theater reaction is going to be phenomenal, and I can't wait to be in the theater for it.
Oh, opening night for me for sure.
Oh,
Hopefully other people that are in this chat too.
100%. I mean, this is a movie that you just if obviously life happens, sometimes you can't make it, but if you can make opening night for this film, this is a movie that you need to be there for opening night because it's going to be out of this fucking world.
Yeah, I heard Johnny, who's going to be on in a bit here, is going to fly us all to the UK for it on his dime. I can't wait for that. I've never been. It's going to be just a wonderful experience. It'll be Fandom Empire far from home. So
what a great guy.
What a
great fucking guy.
Fucking fabulous.
I've never said a bad thing about Johnny, as you guys know, and I never will. I never will.
Bullshit.
And then we're going to end up being stuck over there overseas, and then it's going to be no way home. Fandom Empire, no way home.
That's a good one. Justin Smith, Sinister 6, basically confirmed with who they're going with. So there's that. I count 5. I'm still only counting 5. Did we get 6 and I missed it? Goblin, Doc Ock, Lizard, Sandman, Electro. I'm not counting a 6th.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Daredevil's in this film.
Oh, yeah.
You remember who his bad guy was, right?
Yeah, I suppose he could be in it, but I have no knowledge of that. Jody says, I hate trailers. They gave away the best parts. Tommy, your thoughts on the trailer, man? They didn't show them, dude.
Yeah. I just got done bitching about it. I'll do a little bit more right now. But this ain't the Tommy B bitch ass show, so I'm not going to do it too much.
I mean, it could be the Tommy B bitch ass show.
I swear to God, I would tune in. Not even
for real though. I just have a hard time removing myself as the fandom consumer of sorts, and the problem is, there's a good chance that your folks who aren't sucked into the world of fandom are going to be able to get a good, big screen reveal of all the spiders on screen and such. But if they do anything online, it could get spoiled for them, especially if they're looking at Twitter the day before, the night before, or whatever. They see the leaks with it being released early abroad. And, if they're not even seeing it on release day, there's even a greater chance of leaks, right? It's,
for sure.
It's a tough call no matter what way you look at it.
I think they create, and I've already seen some of the doubt out there just after Garfield's interview. They create doubt by not showing them, and by creating doubt, you go from some people thinking it's a guarantee to, oh, maybe they won't be in it. I guess I'll find out when I see the movie. This movie is going to do insane numbers at the box office. I'm guessing 150 plus million opening weekend domestically, even during this time, which would be insane. It'd be by far the highest.
I guess that would be, I guess that would be the highest movie in a number of years, right? So,
for sure.
I mean, I know they're in the movie, and I might get a standing ovation from me. It's just, I don't know. It's just going to be a good experience.
So, I've had, not coming to me personally, but I've seen on Twitter people saying this is a big hint. At the very end, the 2 flashes of light.
That means the X-Men are in the movie, right? Isn't that where the end of X-Men happened?
Maybe it is just some light.
Yeah, oh for sure. You know, there's always that color of light in the sky. I don't think
Yeah.
I've smoked enough weed to think that yet. And then there was this one. There's several of them, but this one was right towards the end. And if you haven't seen the movie very many times, it's literally the exact sequence from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, with Tom Holland playing the role as Andrew Garfield. And there are other moments in the trailer that are literally callbacks to each of those films, and not just because the villains are in it. So, all in all, am I bummed that they weren't in it? Yeah, but I also, after the talk online the last couple of days, wasn't expecting them to be in it either. I thought we would have got more of a in-your-face hint, but the trailer kind of has hints all over it. So, I'd give this trailer probably a solid 8 out of 10. I think it does its job. It's not insane. It's not the best movie trailer I've ever seen, but I'm definitely stoked for this movie. Oh, and they showed J. Jonah Jameson too, so that was cool. What do you guys give it?
I would give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know,
I'd
like a
give it a
7.5
7.
maybe.
7.5. Yeah.
So Mike gave it a 9, and Tommy a 7, Kieran a 7.5. All right. Well, fellas, let's keep the ball rolling here. That's it for the Spider-Man No Way Home discussion. We'll keep up with that, but my guess is you hold a major fan event, you have Tom Holland come out. I'm not really sure why. I don't think this trailer needed a fan event.
Can we talk more about this Tommy B show? I feel like it could be like a Peter Griffin, this grinds my gears type show. He just comes on and rants about shit for like 5 minutes.
Old school Family Guy. Now it's just a bunch of shit. That's something else that grinds my gears. They still got motherfucking Family Guy running. What is it, like billion seasons of nothing but shit? Like, we need
to capture this thing that's happening right beside me. We need to capture it in a bottle and put it out there for like 5-10 minutes.
I like me some Bob's Burgers. I like me some of the Great North, which is just Bob's Burgers in Alaska. I like me some I'll even watch Simpsons, which normally isn't all that great, but the last 2 episodes are pretty good.
I hate to burst your bubble, but Bob's Burgers and The Simpsons suck.
Well, maybe your fucking opinion sucks. How about that?
I'm sure a lot of people think that. So
yeah,
I know Jade's.
That's why you rated the trailer the highest, isn't it?
Jade's. No, Mike rated it the highest. I gave it an 8.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe Mike's opinion sucks. I don't know.
poor Mike. Wow. Toronto Freddy says the friggin' Sinister Six is Doc Ock, Lizard, Electro, Sandman, Green Goblin, and John Campia. Sir.
At first, I read that as John Carpenter.
Him too.
Oh shit!
It's pretty sinister.
I think so. All right, that's it for our Spider-Man No Way Home discussion. I can't see them revealing Toby and Andrew now before the premiere, which is unfortunate because that probably means they're not going to let Andrew and Toby go to the the actual red carpet event. I mean, I suppose they could be there and they could just be like, "We're just here as fans," but that'd be a bit of a giveaway. And I think really cool marketing things they've done with the 3 of them.
I bet they're really bummed out they can't go.
Oh, for sure, right? Totally. Man, after listening to Adam Driver's story the other day on a Star Wars Celebration thing. Sorry, not Celebration. It was San Diego Comic-Con. And it was a nightmare, and now he doesn't do
What's the synopsis on that? Give us that story real quick.
They wouldn't let him go get coffee. And if he did go to get coffee, he had to wear a Stormtrooper mask or a Darth Vader mask. So he spent like 36 hours in a hotel room without leaving, and he wasn't very happy about it.
He couldn't wear a Kylo Ren mask? Wouldn't
No,
that have been appropriate?
They just didn't want people to know what this guy looks like normally.
they're
Like,
stupid and oversee.
he was casted. People know what the fuck he looked like. Fucking stupid.
Anyways, let's dive.
You know what really grinds my gears, Kieran? Stupid shit like that.
Speaking of stupid shit, on tonight's show we have
Halloween 5. Stupid shit.
2 Halloween movies I can't say I care for a whole lot. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween H20, which I know is a big favorite for a lot of people. I'm not sure why, but kudos to each and every one of you. So the way we're going to do this is we'll give the chat their say, but Tommy and Mike and Kieran are going to vote on these. So each category is going to go one way or the other.
Wait, you're not doing it?
Oh, I'm going to give my answer, but my vote doesn't count because I'm the one coming with the question.
Okay. Okay.
No,
okay.
For sure. Jeez, you thought I'd cop out of this? No, of course not.
Yes.
I'll lead off each one.
It'll be good for tiebreaker too.
Yeah. Well, no, there wouldn't be a tiebreaker because there's 3 of you and it's impossible to split it even. Oh, well, I guess it's not impossible to split it even, but
no, that's what I was saying. When if your vote didn't count, that makes it easier for tiebreaker.
What's the chat think? Let us know right now in the comment section down below, whether you're in the live chat, whether you're in the comment section afterwards. Which Halloween movie do you like better? The categories are visuals, kills, Michael, as in Myers, acting, score, and story. And each one is going to go one way or the other way. Let us know in the chat as we go here. Let's kick things off with the visuals. For me, visually speaking, Halloween H20, even though it's not in Haddonfield, it to me is still shot way better than Halloween 5. Some of the visuals in Halloween H20 are fantastic. I think the mask in both movies are kind of crap, to be honest. But just in general, cinematography for me goes Halloween H20's way. We'll go clockwise here.
I mean, yeah, for me, it's H20 as well. For everything that you said, the opening scene is probably one of my favorites outside of Halloween 4, of course, and obviously the original. You get that fall vibe, you get that fall feel, and even though that it's not in Haddonfield, the opening scene makes it seem like it's in Haddonfield, even though it clearly isn't. But yeah, I mean that's a big seller for me. And then throughout the film, I just thought the shots in H20 were better overall. There were a lot in 5 that I didn't like. So I'll give the nod for visuals to H20.
I'm of the same opinion for all the good reasons that Mike listed. The visuals for H20 for me as well.
So H20 is going to take the win on visuals, but Kieran.
And, you know, it's hard to make the argument because H20 has an extra 10 years on top of that. So.
And that should be taken into consideration, at least when it comes to cinematography. Not to say older films don't have good cinematography. That's not the case at all. But you know, more modernized stuff definitely helps make it feel a little more fresh. Kieran, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, honestly, I would give it to H20 as well. When it comes to the visuals, and yeah, like it does seem like it's a much more not even just because of the time, but even for the time. I'm not sure exactly what the production budgets for the 2 movies were, but I'm betting that H20 was a more big time movie, probably a more production put behind it, and the visuals definitely show that. I don't have any problems with the visuals in the movie at all. So yeah, I think that H20 is probably the better of the 2.
H20 was heavily false advertised.
I do like the Halloween 5 mask better than the H20 mask.
Oh man,
Which H20?
I know people hate that. I know people hate that
you mean you
H5
like the
mask and the
Halloween
neck
5
sticks
mask?
out and all that stuff, but I do like the H5 mask better
If you
because I
like
have more problems with the H2O mask.
well, you like it better than the H2O CGI mask, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm also in camp. I don't want to see Michael's eyes, and I really hate that scene with the circular window where he looks through or at it, and you could. I don't know. I hate that. I hate how the mask looks there. And I mean,
you
that
could say that
bothers me
about
more than
5.
anything. It bothers
You
me
say that
more
about
than
5 too.
anything about 5.
I don't know. The fact
I
that
feel like
Michael
both
Myers
masks.
the fact that he cries in 5 fucking gets me.
And is
But he
on his
doesn't have the
knees,
mask on, right?
fiddling around with
Nah, he
chains.
doesn't.
I feel like that was kind of weird and uncharacteristic, but it doesn't bother me. But I mean, we could get into that. We can get into that stuff later. I mean, there's a reason
Sure,
I
when we
like
do
the movie
Halloween
better.
5 watch along.
Oh
Oh
yes.
my god.
You guys will be fucking crying or whatever. I'll just be sitting there going,
Well, Kieran was here for the H2O watch along, so I guess I'll be there for the 5.
and you know what's the worst thing was the H2O watch along like started my dislike for the movie. Like I was like when I ran through them a couple times, I was like, yeah, it's all right. But sitting there watching it that time, I was like, this is so garbage. Like I didn't like it at all.
All right, category number 2, the kills in the movie. And even though my vote doesn't count, and again, going into this, just so everybody knows, I like Halloween H2O more than I like Halloween 5. But again, we're judging this for what's better, I guess.
That's it. H2O wins. There it is.
The kills in Halloween 5 are far better than the kills in Halloween H2O. I found a lot of Halloween H2O to be watered down and unimaginative. So yeah, Halloween 5 gets my vote on this one.
Yeah, for me,
So,
I would have
I
to.
want a little bit of clarification before we speak further on this. When we say kills, do we mean the gore, the blood, the look of the actual kill, or do we mean the impact of the kill? Because there are just some kills you look at and it's like, really? Are you serious? Or do we want to bundle that in with story?
I think it's not story. It's all together, in my opinion. What both things you just said.
Okay, sorry, Mike. Continue.
No, you're good, man. For kills, I would have to give it to 5 as well. Quantity isn't everything, but 5 has pretty much double the kills. It does have double the kills compared to H2O. I think with H2O, they try to go way too far back and mimicking the original Halloween as far as the simplicity of some of its kills and the lack of kills. So I definitely understand as somebody who watches Halloween, one of the main reasons for the kills. I mean, that was definitely disappointing for H2O. I thought there were a couple in H2O that I really enjoyed. But I would have to give the nod to Halloween 5 for the kills.
So I was conflicted with the kills myself.
Even though, real quick, Tommy, even though I fucking hate how they killed Rachel. Okay, that's
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. So I was a little conflicted on the kills myself, right? Because it's hard to get away from H5 and some of the decisions they went with it, like Rachel, which we just got done talking about. Whereas I've seen H2O a lot more. Some of the kills have stayed with me that are in the movie, so I kind of like those more. But, since it's real close and since some good points have been made, I think I will go with H5 with the honorable mention of I really like the look of Michael with the freaking scythe.
Yeah. I mean, this one is definitely H5 for me. I don't think that, I don't think it's the most important thing how the kills go because it's not Michael's. I don't think that needs to be Michael's jam just because the original one didn't have crazy imaginative kills. And I feel like that's more cutting in on Jason territory and Freddy territory, where they're like, hey, why don't we do this? This happens, and then this happens, and someone dies this way, and they try to find a way to fit it into the movie. Like it's the kills are more important. However, I mean, who doesn't enjoy some pretty awesome kills? And I do think the ones in 5 are much better. I keep forgetting his name, but that greaser guy who dies with the gardening tool to the face is awesome. I like that one. With the scythe, all that stuff is great.
Unfortunately,
the only bad one his name was Mike. Okay, perfect. That fucking asshole who cares about his car so much, that stereotypical terrible character.
He got it good.
But it looks great though too. Like he really looks like he's being strangled. And like I love the kill. I think it's awesome. I love that one. The only one I don't like is the titty stab. Like that just looks terrible. When she gets stabbed in the boob, it does not look very good. Anyways, H5 for sure. It's not even it's a blowout when it comes to kills to me.
All right, we'll go reverse clockwise for this one. By the way, that was a 3-0 for Halloween 5. So right now, I guess we're all evened up, even in points, which is kind of surprising. All right, where is my spreadsheet? There it is. Michael Myers. Which film has the better Michael Myers? For me, this one isn't close. It's Halloween H20. Because even though Don Shanks seems like a sweetheart, I couldn't stand him as Michael Myers in Halloween 5 at all. Painfully noticeable at times. I'm going Chris Duran in Halloween H20. And I don't even think Duran's like one of the top Michael Myers, but he's miles better. He is miles better than Don Shanks.
Oh yeah, counterclockwise, right?
Counterclockwise.
Yeah, I actually think that the Michael in H20 is better as well. I think that is the number one knock on H5 to me, is that there's not a lot of memorable Michael Myers in H5. It's a lot of, I mean, I would be interested to find out what the screen times are in all of the movies and how often he's in it, and even whether it's point of view or not. But I feel like there's not a lot of memorable moments that are Michael centric in H5. It's a lot more about Loomis for me in that movie. And I do like how he moves, and he seems a lot more Michael like in H20. Like it seems like a better portrayal of Michael together. So I'll give it to H20.
Before Tommy gives his answer, I'm struggling. You said for you the worst part about Halloween 5 is Michael. Is that correct?
I think that I think that that's the part that's missing the most. I wish that Michael was done a little bit better in H5.
See, when I think about the worst part of Halloween 5, this is what comes to mind.
Yes.
But I don't mind her at all. I don't mind her at all.
God.
Not even the slightest do I mind her. I agree that she's not as good as Rachel, but like I just, I know that the movie's already been made, and I fucking move on. I don't whine about it every fucking week.
Well, guess what? You only have endless amounts of weeks to go.
I know. And there's probably some other things. There's probably some other things on this channel that are going to be brought up that I hate more often now. If you know what I mean.
There's a tease. We'll get to that though in due time, sir. Tommy, who's the better Michael? Who's the better Michelle Myers?
Well, Sean, I see that my screen just froze, so I'll finish talking first, and then I'm going to refresh that shit.
Oh wow, that's creepy.
I know, isn't it? Oh fuck. It's freaking H2O. The dynamics are played a hell of a lot. Oh, you gotta do this shit to me, huh? All right. It's better. It's better. The dynamics, the character, everything that comes into play. H5, yes, not memorable. And with that said, I'm going to go refresh.
Toronto Freddy says the most atrocious character in Halloween 5 is the Myers house. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Don't be wrong, that house still looks creepy on the inside, but like, who did they think they were fooling with that? Tommy
so I'm about to go with Chris Duran as well. Going back to that whole opening scene, I thought he was phenomenal in that opening scene, and I have my problems with him throughout the movie, but the opening scene sticks out. When they're in the bathroom in the middle of nowhere, kind of how he turns back and looks right through the crack. I thought that was vintage Mike. Yeah, so I would have to go with Chris Duran. There was a lot of problems that I took with Don Shanks, who is a very nice guy. I've met him twice at a convention. I don't know. He didn't move like Michael to me, and every time he held the knife, it was always up by his ear. Like, goddamn, dude, you're gonna tear your rotator cuff. You keep going like this. I mean, the way he was holding it when Loomis was talking to him, I'm like, dude, killing you. I'm like,
in the house, it is really funny. It's really funny that he's just going like the whole time, and then like he's talking and even kind of like rotates, just keeps his arm that way. It's like,
I'm like, damn,
should I not?
You gotta take an Epsom salt bath here if you keep doing it like that. But yeah, I would have to go Chris Duran and H2O. Like I said, I have my problems. I agree with Kieran as far as the whole eyes. Definitely do not like that. And obviously, I go back to Halloween 5 when the mask was fully off of Michael and you see him cry. It's just, I didn't like none of that. So I would have to go Chris Duran for sure.
All right, then let's keep this ball rolling. That gives us a win, a full slate win. I can't access the stream. What the hell is going on here? There we go. I thought we were.
We have yet to really argue about anything yet.
No, this has been interesting, actually, to be honest, because
backfired on you. Ha!
I don't know how this is going to turn out now, to be honest. So right now we have visuals and Michael Myers, a clean sweep for Halloween H2O, and the kills, a clean sweep for Halloween 5. Now it's time for the acting. Think about the cast. I think the big ones that come to mind for me is you have Jamie Lee Curtis, you have Josh Hartnett, and you have Ice Cube. And then on Halloween 5 side...
What?
Kieran, shut the fuck up, dude. You're gonna make me.
What?
What are we wanting?
You're gonna like break your microphone, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what he's.
No, what? No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just go. We'll just go on like it. We'll just go on like it didn't happen.
Oh my god, Kieran, you're an idiot, dude.
LL Cool J, sorry, apologies. Thank you.
It's on the fucking poster.
I can't see. My screen's small.
Dude, I'm fucking crying. Kieran, you're an idiot.
Busta Rhymes, I meant. No, it's a different movie. Anyways, I would say the three focal points in terms of the acting in Halloween H2O are Jamie Lee Curtis, Josh Hartnett, and I mean, maybe Michelle Williams, but I almost feel like her character doesn't get the attention that Ronnie gets in Halloween H2O.
I feel like she had like 5-6 lines, maybe.
Halloween 5 features Donald Pleasance, obviously as the star. You still get Ellie Cornell as Rachel Carruthers in a little bit of the movie, and it also features a very young Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd. For me, this one's not close. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is very good in Halloween H2O at all. And it's Halloween 5 for me. Donald Pleasance, Team Pleasance for the win. Halloween 5. Kieran?
I just wait until you get on screen again. Obviously, there's actually some good and some bad performances in both. But I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I mean, Donald Pleasance. That's all you need. If you got two sports teams and you got one megastar like Donald Pleasance, then that team's going to take it. I also think that Danielle Harris, and I know she can be very polarizing, as a child actor, like she was really, really good as a child actor in both 4 and 5. Like she's super believable, and I mean, I work with kids for a living, so I feel like I have a little bit of expertise in that, but I think she's super believable in all the scenes that she's in. And I mean, there's some weird angles in the fact that, she doesn't speak in the beginning of the movie, and that kind of takes a little bit away, but I think she's phenomenal in the movie too. So, if it was just Donald Pleasance versus, and the rest of the acting was crap, because there is of course some crap acting in a, old school horror movie where they don't hire the best of actors, and sometimes they just hire some fucking people that are standing around. But as compared to H2O, which is probably a bigger production, but I think Danielle Harris is like adds in there and puts it over the top. I do think that LL Cool J is a pretty good actor in the movie, though. I actually like he's also a believable character. I love yeah, he's. I mean, and he does have quite a film career, beyond this too. So not a lot of bad acting in H2O, but kind of bland for me. Like I don't think there's any performances that really put it over the top in H2O, and I think that Donald Pleasance is amazing, and I think that Danielle Harris is amazing. So,
Tommy B, what do you got on this one, man? I'm curious. I don't know which way you're going to fall.
I mean, I want to lean to H2O, but I can't because...
Don't be a bitch.
Whoa! Whoa!
Don't let him talk you out of it.
Oh,
Don't do
it. Oh, shit. They got the points, man. They do. They do. You had your big name in Donald Pleasance and whatnot. Danielle Harris as a child actress and et al. So on and so forth. Like H2O had good acting as well. There were some parts of it that weren't my favorite, but I'm thinking that's more about story than acting. And we make this argument all the time, and this tends to be a hill that Fandom Empire will die on. We don't want to blame the professionals, the actors, for story. We want to blame them for shit acting, and oftentimes it's a story issue. So I'll go with H5 for that.
All right. Well, I'll go out on the boat and just say H2O. I mean, Kieran touched on it and said that H2O doesn't really have any bad acting at all. I would say Charlie wasn't the biggest fan of him. Outside of that, yeah, they were kind of bland at points. I actually do like Jamie Lee Curtis in this film. I like, outside of her opening scream, I didn't really believe that, but I really liked her. I thought LL Cool J was really good in this film. I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot worse acting, in my opinion, in H5, despite obviously Donald Pleasance and Danielle Harris. I mean, they were phenomenal, but outside of that, I mean, I really can't pinpoint what other actors were even good. Mikey, maybe. I mean, he was annoying, but he fit his character. I mean, so I would have to go H2O as a whole. There were a lot more solids than H5, so I would give the acting to H2O.
Nice. All right. Well, that was the first on clean sweep here. We're getting towards the end of this thing. We have next up. Where's my slide? That's what she said. There we go. The score.
What? How is that a what? That's what she said joke.
Never heard of sliding?
Where's my slide?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just end the show there? Or?
Having some audio technical difficulties over here, though. Legitimately.
It sounds like the end of the show now.
The score. For me, it's Halloween 5 because Halloween H20 has the worst score of any Halloween movie. It's terrible. I don't know what the fuck they did with that theme. My goodness, it's awful. Not even Tom Kane parading around as a dead Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis can save Halloween H20. I just hate the theme. Even when Laurie is going back into the school alone and Michael's somewhere in there, it plays like almost this cartoony background. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the score. Enough jibber jabber.
So you're telling us you don't like the score?
I'm telling you, fuck the score.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Network and the score of the movie.
I think that H5 wins, except if you add the little cop music in there for or whatever that fucking weird carnival bullshit
I still take
was.
that over the main theme from Halloween H20.
Oh man, I that's easily it's one of those things where it happens in the movie and you wonder, like, you're like, it's not even that you're like, I don't like that choice. You're like, did they get a professional to do that? Who edited this? Like, is this a child? Like, I don't understand that. It's easily the worst part in H5. Easily the worst thing to happen to H5 is that dumb music when the cops show up. It makes the whole thing look dumb. I'm actually like, does that count as part of the score?
The cops music?
Yeah. We're going to count that. Is it?
Yeah, you have to count that as part of the score. It's part of
You
the
know
score.
what? I hate that so much. I'm giving it to H20. I hate it so much.
Wow, that's controversial opinion.
If you color corrected H20 and even in post went and made it look a little more grittier and like added the Halloween Kills soundtrack to it, boy, would that movie just hit 1,000 times better than what it does, in my opinion. But anyway.
Out of all the things, I hate that the most. Out of anything in any of those movies, I hate that the most. It's a fucking dumb choice that they did that.
So you don't like it, is what you're telling us?
I could go on for the next hour, but I'm just going to quit.
No, please don't.
How dumb that is.
You're H5. Okay. Please. Or you're not H5. You want to say H20. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I will not be saying H20. And I've given H5 more points than I thought I was going to give. I'll admit that one right now. But going into this, the score is one that I knew was going to go to H5 because H5 has, some more tracks you might call sinister and such, dark, gritty, whatever. H20, yeah, it's meh. It's meh. It has a few moments that are pretty good, but even since the first time I watched the full movie, it was always meh, and it'll always be meh. Let's see what Mike has to say about that.
Not too crazy about either or, to be honest, but I'm gonna go H20. Different is different, and different is usually bad, and wasn't great. But I'll go H20. There were some that I actually enjoyed. So
was that a 3-0 for H20? Wow. I'm hurting on this one, fellas.
No, Tommy, didn't you say H5?
No, I said
I
H5.
thought he said H. Yeah, I got them mixed up. I thought he said H20. Okay, so it's not It's 2-1, which technically brings us tied again in overall points, I believe. Oh, no. H2O is winning at the moment. Before it brings us to our last category here, I'm going to see if I can load something up. Which, there it is.
So, like, are we going to say overall, or are we just judging our overall by this shit? Oh, God.
I mean, who wouldn't pay to see this? I'd pay to see it.
Not in that mask.
Outside of Law and Order, is Ice-T in anything else?
I don't know. I mean, you might as well just get Common in there too now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, I think Ice Cube's a great actor for what he's in.
He's actually really diverse. Like he's he's an action. That's a
good way.
He's an action star, and he's in kids movies, and he yeah. I don't know. He's pretty diverse.
That's a good way to put it.
I loved Wendy Kaplan over Michelle Williams. Said no Halloween fan ever. Okay, you deserve some props for that one, Matt.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would love to see Michelle Williams and Josh Hartnett back. By the way,
I think it's funny. Everybody says H2O is like the teen version. Obviously, the time of H2O, or H2O is like the teen version of Halloween, and it is. I mean, you got Michelle Williams, who was in Dawson's Creek, and you got the Kevin Williamson ties there. So
it comes down to story.
Okay, come on. Come on now, Sean. Let's not do this.
This one's not close. This one for me, even though my vote doesn't count, and then we'll go back clockwise. By the way, so Mike will go next. For me, it's Halloween H2O. Halloween H2O tells a compelling story that could be seen, in my opinion, more of a continuation from Halloween 1978 than Halloween 2, but it is a continuation of Halloween 2. And it just tells a way better story. Halloween 5. Halloween 5, the first thing that comes to mind is this. That should have happened. That absolutely should have happened with that movie. Donald Pleasance himself could not save Halloween 5. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going obviously H2O. I think it's the way better story, in my opinion. I mean, you have you have people out there that don't like the whole brother sister thing, so that's a knock for some people. I just think H2O throughout is just the better story, and I think it's a really good story. My only knock on H2O is I feel like it was pretty short and it moves pretty fast. It's not a long movie at all. So I would say that's my knock on as far as the writing and the story overall. I like the way that it ended, but it should have ended there. And I know when I see a lot of people talk about H2O, they hate the way it ended because of how he was revived in Resurrection. That is a totally separate movie. You can't hold Resurrection start against H2O. H2O should have been the end. Obviously, going in, that was the plan, and then obviously that changed. But that was a great way to end H2O. Let that story be dead. Mike's dead, or however you want it. That's just a great way to end it, because the only way you can kill the boogeyman, in my opinion, is chop his fucking head off. I mean, we hear that from everybody all the time. Obviously, you can do whatever you want to him, Jason, or however you want to, whoever you talk about, to make sure he's dead, cut his fucking head off. And that's exactly what Jamie Lee Curtis did. So throughout, I thought it's a better story. I really like the ending. I just think that people need to stop holding the ending against, in a negative light because of Resurrection.
So I am.
Hang on. I'm gonna go to Kieran first because I have a feeling you're gonna.
What the fuck?
I have a
How come
feeling
I always get fucking fucked over here?
No, nobody's gotten fucked over. We've either gone clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay.
I also think I know where Kieran falls, so you're going to end up deciding who wins. Kieran, story-wise, what is better?
Well, it's definitely H5. This is the whole point of why I like H5. I like the horror movies that are crazy and off the wall and have all sorts of interesting things in them. Like I don't mind Michael taking off his mask and crying. I don't mind that. I don't mind that she doesn't talk. I don't mind that. Like, I like all these crazy ideas. I like all that stuff. And I feel like H2O is just kind of bland. It's just Michael finds her and comes after her. And that's the story. That's the whole story. There's nothing else in there that's added that's really that interesting. And that's how I feel about H2O, is that it's more of a serious movie, and it seems like it was like, hey, we're bringing Halloween back, and we're going to make it serious again after the departure of the craziness that is Halloween 4, 5, 6. But those are the things I like. That's why I like the original timeline better, because all this, like, you're like, oh yeah, this is the one where this happens, and this is the one where that happens. I feel like H2O is just another Michael Myers movie. It's just nothing really that interesting or different. There's no different takes. There's no interesting characters that are in a different way, add anything new to the saga. I think it was just a Michael Myers movie that I find is boring to watch. Maybe we'll watch it again, and maybe I'll have a different opinion. I am the kind of person who I do sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling that day or whatever, have different opinions on a movie. But I feel like H2O is just another Michael Myers movie that's boring to watch. And I feel like H5 has a lot of like fun, exciting stuff in it. And I mean, all those things that people hate in this movie, like all the things that you guys hate about H5, I love them all. I love all those things about H5. Except that fucking cop music. I hate that cop music.
Halloween H2O with just the cop music from start to finish. Oh, God, that'd be terrible. All right, Tommy. You literally will decide who wins this fight. It's that close. Which side
this one's fucking easy. I mean, come on. Have you ever watched Halloween 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many times.
Well, didn't you see that character, Tina?
Yeah.
Well, then it's the whole stories are just a bunch of freaking steam and flaming dog shit. For real. I mean, I'm someone who enjoys the dynamics of the Strode family, with Michael Myers being the serial killer uncle or serial killer brother or whatever. Who fucking cares? So having he was the uncle in H5. That, yeah, sure, but you really get the bigger play out when you have Laurie at play, and so that contributes to the story as a whole. In H5, it's very difficult to see over the character Tina. And most people, I don't think I'm overstating this, but most Halloween fans would say it was a big mistake. They should have kept going with Rachel, but they didn't. They should have gave... I guess Danielle Harris she still was very prominent throughout the film. But they could have played it differently. They could have made her a killer of some sorts in the film. They could have went a billion different directions with that film. Instead, we got what we did, and we got Tina, and that fucking sucked. However, you got Michael Myers with a scythe, so that's pretty freaking cool.
And not only because she's just straight up annoying, but I think a lot of people bring Tina up because the story for 5 is just trash. I think if the overall story was better, maybe continuing with Rachel Because it had a lot of potential after 4. I mean, it really did. I mean, we talk about, I mean, for me personally, out of all of the films that are out right now in the Halloween franchise, I would love to see sorry, Kieran, true good sequel to Halloween 4, because they had that potential. It's just, I don't know, they flushed it down the drain, man. I
Yeah,
don't know, it's
they
sad.
rushed it.
I am one who is totally on board for seeing another killer come out of that family, and we could have had freaking Jamie Lloyd in that role, but we didn't. And so we
had
got
another
all the
killer. We
hopefuls
had,
out there being like, Allison's gonna be the next Michael Myers in this trilogy.
We had another killer. We had Rob Zombie's wife. We had to endure her acting.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go
Just
with that
saying.
one. Rob
Anyway,
Zombie movies don't.
You don't think that Sherry Moon Zombie is a good actress?
Rob Zombie movies
No,
don't count.
not at all. Not at all.
I don't think that she's a terrible actress. I hate how she's shoehorned into all of his movies, though. Like you're going to get a healthy serving of his wife in his movies, and it's like maybe put her in the background a little bit more. But I don't know. I didn't think she did a bad job in the original.
Well, there you have it. Halloween H20 edges out Halloween 5. It was closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I thought this was just going to be H20 all the way through and Kieran hanging on for H5, but Halloween H20 takes the win in this Halloween fight tonight. We'll have another one probably before the end of the year, but we got to get things going here. That's going to do it for Mike.
It was
Mike, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can follow me on Twitter at @MichaelBish_ and on Instagram at @MBish_.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for doing this, dude. Hopefully you like the trailer, and
Yep.
we'll chat again soon, man.
All right. See y'all.
Mike, I'm glad that we could be respectful here. Like we both gave our honest opinion.
What happened?
Oh, you moved the wrong person.
Sorry. Go ahead. It was an accident.
So, we voted for each other's movie a couple times. It was okay. It wasn't like Sean wanted a fucking nuclear war, but he didn't get it.
A nuclear war will be top 10 Christmas movies of all time. That will be a nuclear war.
Yeah, that probably will be. We've done that before, I think, already, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
We did it last year. We'll do another one though.
I'm gonna go back and look.
Well, we could, and then we could get Mike's point of view now.
For sure. Mike's POV. All right, Mike. Thanks a bunch, dude. And we'll see you on the flip side, man.
Bye, guys.
All right. A Mike out and a Johnny V in. We'll get to Johnny V in 1 second. We want to do this properly. So Johnny has an idea what's coming because I showed him today. Tommy has no idea what's coming. But as part 2 of this announcement here with Rick and Morty going on hiatus, well, something needed to take its place. And it was this. And there you have it. We are going to be doing a weekly Star Wars show with quite a few limitations because of scheduling. Kieran and I have been talking a lot lately about wanting to do more Star Wars and talk more Star Wars. And this past, I think it was Friday, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, you, Ian, and I did a 75-minute Star Wars stream, which...
Yeah. Friday we followed up on Disney Plus Day and talked about the Boba Fett documentary mini special.
Yeah, and a few other things, and it was a lot of fun. I can't reiterate enough that this is not Star Wars Wastelands, although I will never ever forget our time there, and who knows what the future holds. Maybe there'll be a reunion episode or two. But basically the plan here is Kieran and I to do a Star Wars show together, and then on really big episodes you'd have like a round table of 4. But on smaller episodes, rotating seat of guests, whether it's Ian himself, Tommy B, Johnny, Zach, or anybody else, maybe someone from a different show. And we're just going to focus in on the Star Wars news. This will be part of the Star Wars. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. We're either going to have the show here and clip it out on the Star Wars Fandom YouTube channel, or vice versa. It'll be one of those two. So check that out. We don't have a start date yet, other than we said we want to get it up and running prior to the Book of Boba Fett, because we'll be doing a lot of coverage for that. So, and obviously those would be bigger episodes as well. Donnie, welcome. Fitting time to come in.
Yeah, it's I'm curious to know what lottery you think I won.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if I'm flying the crew to, the UK for Spider-Man, I mean, what lottery did I win that I'm not aware of?
Well, that's why it will be No Way Home, because you're gonna find the money to get there, but we're not gonna be able to get back.
I mean, I'll pack you guys in like a charter freight and ship you over that way. I think they call that smuggling, but I mean,
So in all fairness, we don't have much time to talk Star Wars tonight. We got like maybe 10 minutes. Again, no launch date for Star Wars, the Star Wars Fandom podcast. However, I can tell you, whatever comes from D23, if anything, we'll have something. Anybody else hear that? That's brutal ringing. Is it on my end?
I don't hear anything.
Hey, I can hear it.
Can you? Yeah.
No, I can't fucking hear. I'm not even in the same fucking country. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I think it's...
I muted myself and I could still hear it.
Oh, you can hear it too?
Yeah, but I muted myself and I could still hear it.
I guess you guys can still hear me. Yeah, I don't know. Having some sort of sound issue here. Apologies, everybody. Oh, that's brutal. Can you guys hear that?
Is it Johnny though? Johnny, can you mute yourself?
I've been muted for like the
No,
last.
I don't think Johnny.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try to leave and come back 1 second.
Good. Now that he's gone.
Whoa!
What a
All
fucking
right, this is gonna
bullshit
be
opinion
another
Sean
motherfucking
has.
bitch ass Tommy B
Oh my
show.
God.
I'm gonna fucking talk about why Kieran's opinion was wrong and why H5 is actually a piece of shit. But Johnny, we didn't get your input on that. Is H5 worse or is H2O better?
I don't like either of them. So.
Oh.
All right. I think I might have fixed that problem. Let's see.
I think you didn't. Because I could hear it.
What can you hear?
I got no fucking clue what you're talking about. I'm just going to air that right now.
It's like a hum. It's like a hum. I can't hear it now, though.
Weird. Anyway, we'll try to work through it. Yeah, no, my headset's giving me issues too. What the fuck?
It's a lightsaber. We'll just say it's the lightsaber.
It does sound like a lightsaber.
Wow.
Anyway, I'll have to figure it out later. if it's too bad, let me know, and I will just back out of most of the discussion. So, can you hear it now?
Well, in that case, we should, yeah.
Oh, it's so loud. It's awful. I can't hear anything you're saying. What's that?
I was muted. So, anyways, yeah. So we'll have some sort of D23 coverage. There's so much going on out there right now for Star Wars. The newest news is Kathleen. So this comes from the ex-head editor at the Hollywood Reporter, but everybody's running it. Kathleen Kennedy has signed a 3-year contract extension, which I can't say I'm overly thrilled about. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, as much bad results as she's had good results, and it is what it is. But what do we run into with that? That same article that's reporting this, the exact same one that her husband retweeted, also has in it Patty Jenkins and Rian Johnson are both done and will not be back. So it's like you can't. I've already seen this so much. People like cherry picking. Okay, so we like the Kathleen Kennedy staying, so that's real, but the other two things are fake. It's like you can't do that. One, you're completely fucking degrading the reporter on this, and two, you're just serving your own needs. To me, it's simple. Star Wars, just in terms of its big screen product, is in a really bad way right now, and they haven't had a chance to recover. In terms of the small screen product, I think it's kind of hard to argue what they have going on right now. Who wants to chime in first?
Go, Johnny. You just got on. You just
See, this
got
is
on.
what happens when you let us go in chaos like this. Everybody talks over everybody, or nobody talks at all. It's one or the other. It's never both. I mean, I think it just. I said it was last week. I think that she's a great number 2, but she's not.
She's a great producer. It doesn't mean she's a great.
Yeah,
studio.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's just a phenomenal thing to say is that she's a great producer. If you look at her track record, she's produced some
of the best of all time,
some of the greatest films ever made. You don't get to be the right hand of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg without skills. You have a look on your face like somebody said something
that's a
weird.
very wrong way. Yeah.
Wow.
We're not talking about those kinds of
Yeah, no, that's
John.
I didn't say that. I'm saying she got to be the right hand of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. You don't get to do that without Seriously. What?
We aren't talking about those skills, Sean.
It's the film industry.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man. Get off the leather couch.
My mind lives in the gutter.
There's no underwear in space, so
my goodness, sir. Get your mind out of the gutter. Ow, I said what I said.
Mean,
I'm not going to say
explain a lot.
Okay, but then that would make more questions like why are George and Steven sharing? But that's again, that's
what?
It's a left turn we're not going to take. You went there, not me.
No, you said it. You said it.
I did, but the fact is,
once you say
the right hand of
something,
George
said
and Spielberg as far as producing goes. That's a reality.
Oh my god.
All right, if you want to take it that left turn, then that implies that they shared her, and that's an image that I mean, if you want to.
What are we talking about again? But we get back to what we're actually talking about.
Yeah, well, the main thing would be that Patty Jenkins is out. Rian Johnson, I think we've all known for a while, and this is not a shot at The Last Jedi. Just his thing was announced forever ago and never got off the ground, and same people reporting this. But it's the list. It's Josh Trank. It's Gareth Edwards, who didn't get fired but got benched. It's Lord and Miller. It's David and Dan. It's Patty Jenkins. It's Colin Trevorrow. It's
everyone who doesn't work in TV. Basically,
it's not a good track record. That said, though, if you're gonna bash her for that, you better praise her for handing the keys to the Mandalorian over to Filoni and Favreau, because that doesn't happen without her say so. and she did. Same with Book of Boba. Same with Obi-Wan, although the Obi-Wan project has changed massively from what it was first meant to be. I think
There's still time. They can still change it again.
I think there's bad, and I think there's good. I think the bad outweighs the good for me personally. And I just think they could have used a fresh start. Cinematically, I'm frustrated. I want to go see a Star Wars movie with all you guys, right? And like, we're just not close to that. I know there was the rumors about a 2023 replacement, but unless that comes mega soon, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I understand all this stuff. It does seem like a lot of people who are whining about Kathleen Kennedy all the time, and you see the memes and you see all the complaints and stuff like that. It's not like there's some real stuff in there. There's obviously some problems within Lucasfilm and the House of Mouse, and obviously she has to do with a lot of it. But when it comes to what's bad and what's good, the only thing I really thought they dropped the ball on was Rise of Skywalker, which is a big problem, because it capped off the new trilogy and really was terrible in my opinion. So I don't have a problem with them re-signing her for another 3 years. If anything, it just gives me the enjoyment of seeing people whine more about it.
So I guess my question to you guys is, since Tommy and I had a chance to talk to Ian about this, is the only thing that really came out of Disney Plus Day other than the Boba Fett thing was the Obi-Wan Kenobi concept art, and they're calling it a sizzle reel, but it really wasn't. What did you guys think of? What do you guys think of that? And obviously now, prove the rumors true. It's not just a Tatooine adventure. This is going to be a big galactic thing, and it seems like he's going to go to a lot of places and see a lot of people in the 6 hours we're going to spend with him.
I mean,
John,
it's not a lot. It's not enough. The whole thing was not enough. There was a lot of rumors in what we were and weren't going to get, and there was a lot of we didn't get. There's a lot of we didn't get in that, and I don't understand why. Did they not have that material? Did they not want to? I feel like they need to be more consistent with their events and how, sometimes they give away fucking 10 new shows they're going to do, and sometimes they give away almost nothing. And I mean, there are different events. There's the shareholder event, and different things happen that, but there's a reason why they release different information. But yeah, I haven't even seen the Boba Fett documentary. I don't know if I'm going to ever. It's not high on my priority list. And it's not because it's Boba Fett. It's because it's not going to give me any new information. I don't think it just doesn't seem interesting. It's because it's Boba Fett. That fucking guy sucks. I hate. You know what I found out today? I didn't know is the newest release of the original trilogy has Morrison's voice instead of that other guy. Instead of
it's been there for a while now.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit.
Okay.
Why did they do that? Why would they do that? What about this? Like, why?
Oh my god. Actually, is this happening right now?
They're taking away someone's acting credit. They're just tossing this guy aside. Fucking Boba. Everything that has to do with Boba Fett is bullshit.
And just like that, the Star Wars show is off. I'm kidding. Johnny, your thoughts?
Well, I think you're a fucking doo-doo head.
Yeah, your thoughts on the Kenobi stuff?
I mean, I think that we kind of all made the mistake of expecting too much. We got in our heads that we were going to get new footage and The rumor mill just kind of went with that, and we did as well. We spent a fair bit of time talking about last week about new footage that we thought was coming and things like that, and then we didn't get anything. We got some.
Sounds like the footage does exist too. So,
I mean, logically it has to. It's just a question of release or non-release. But so I mean, we all got into our heads that we were going to get something, and then we got nothing, and it was just a whole lot of hype. All sizzle, no steak, and that's fine. We're far enough out that not getting much isn't a bad thing here. Like, I don't want to fall into the trap of letting out too much too soon. And this is such a big project that it could easily go that route. The fact we know so little about the story is a good thing. So we can speculate on where the story is going to go. And now we're getting, these hints and tips and, art and things like that that are confirming that this isn't a one world story. This isn't a bottle story that takes place entirely on one planet. And I like that because it hasn't told us anything. It's telling us, it's painting the borders without painting in the picture. And I like that. It's something that's done too often now where, trailers these days have become, paint by numbers. You see the entire picture before you add the paint. And that's, that's a problem. I like the blank canvas. I like, painting in the borders and giving me a direction without, holding my hand and coloring inside the lines. That's not, that's more and more trailers and stuff like that are becoming. And I like the fact that we got nothing. Like, would I've liked more? Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see Obi-Wan in the costume and, if I didn't want to see Ewan and hear his voice and, even just narrating something that doesn't tell us anything. Like, I speculated we might get something similar to the Book of Boba Fett where you see a lot of location footage and you hear him talking over it and then you kind of pan out and see his face in whatever costume he's wearing these days. And that's what you get. And I've been okay with that. So I just, I'm not mad we didn't get anything, but I would have liked something more somewhere because we didn't really get anything about anything, not just Obi-Wan.
Well, I mean, Marvel had a lot of.
Well, okay, I'm talking strictly from a Star Wars perspective.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing is Star Wars Disney Plus Day was basically non-existent at all.
Whereas Marvel got so much stuff that made me so happy.
And Disney Plus Day itself was handled just fucking terribly. They're getting fucking crucified right now. Their handling of it, and but it is what it is. Anyways, point being here, fellas. We're going to be talking a lot more Star Wars. Most of it will be on another channel, but be on the lookout for that. Before we say goodbye to Tommy B, though, I just want to dive into spoiler territory here for a second with the Spider-Man stuff. In case you're somebody that's on the fence going, oh no, they weren't in the trailer. That means they're not in the movie. We're all wrong. Let me just point this out to you guys. Again,
I'd like to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge if you believe that.
So this is in the trailer. As is this. Now, a leaked photo from months ago that people said was completely fake. Anyway,
I mean, I know we're past the trailer, but my perspective is still that this trailer is still like maybe the culmination of the second act, but it's still early. Like I'm predicting that the big reveal is that we see just moments before Andrew Garfield shows up. I'm predicting that as MJ is falling, that's when he shows up. That's when Andrew shows up and saves MJ from falling so that Peter doesn't go through the same thing he went through.
I think that he will already be in the movie by then. Like I said, as far as I know, they're supposed to play big roles. And I do think this is the end battle here. I think the part we're not seeing in this is like the middle portion of the film, because I believe most of the Strange stuff is the beginning portion of the film. But who knows? That's all speculative at best. But it's safe to say they're in the movie. I do like the idea that, Peter, as in Tom Holland's Peter, isn't going to get to her in time, and it ends up being Andrew because, hey, he gets a second shot at at
Everybody
doing.
gets one.
Yeah, and he makes the most of his. So, but yeah, there you have it. Anyways, Tommy Bizzleman, we will get you out of here. Thanks for toughing it out tonight, dude. I know you could have easily went to bed much earlier. Where can everybody find you at, good sir?
Everyone can find me at TommyB1650, Twitter and Instagram, and around the Fandom Empire Den and all of our other groups and pages.
All right, Tommy. We will catch you on the flip side. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. All right. We got probably only about 20 minutes here to talk wrestling. I haven't even seen the whole pay-per-view, so I'm going to shut up and listen to these guys talk. Keep it to the pay-per-view, though, guys. From the Inside Handoff podcast, it's Jer. What's going on, man?
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
I got you. I'm going to turn you
All
up a
right,
bit for 1
awesome.
second.
I'm not happy about it, but I can hear you.
Good. You're going to get all my opinions right in your ear.
All right. Well, why don't we start off with you? Maybe just general thoughts of the pay-per-view, and then you guys can all okay.
Maybe Johnny didn't want to hear it.
He's just pissed that I beat him in fantasy this week.
For the show itself, it was good, great in moments, but I think the structure of the show had problems. If you look through the rundown of the card, there was 20-minute match after 20-minute match after 20-minute match, and they would show like a 30-second video clip in between matches, and it would just be boom, 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 boom. Shit was overwhelming after a while. Like, can I go take a piss or something? Like, there was not even a popcorn break match. I don't care about that, but like, give me like a backstage interview or something in between. It just felt like they jammed the show full, which is fine, but.
See, I haven't even seen the full pay-per-view, man, and I can tell you the one issue I've had with AEW pay-per-views is, while I don't want it to be WWE, and I like that the focus is more on wrestling. That's like my favorite part of it, just AEW in general. I do think they need to sprinkle in a little bit more backstage stuff on their pay-per-views. Like, I really felt that at All Out.
Yeah, 100%. Like that, and it really, really, showed up in Full Gear, but from an in-ring perspective, it was fantastic. There wasn't a bad match on the card. The main event was absolutely tremendous in storytelling, in-ring. Yes, you kind of had to know the story going in to really get everything, but AEW does fan service like that. They want you to be engaged in the story between the Bucks and Hangman and Omega. They expect you to know that going in because they want you to know it. They don't beat you over the head with it, but it's there, so you get it, And I think that's different from other wrestling companies, which is a good thing, because there is a subsection of fans out there who pay attention to stuff like that. We want the super engaging, intertwined stories that we get. And you get, a 2-year payoff in the main event of the pay-per-view. So, there's an audience for that, and they cater to that audience, and it was phenomenal.
You know how they get by that sometimes? Fantastic commentating. If the commentators can tell you, like, we don't know if Page is going to do it again. He's failed a few times. You go, oh yeah, that's right, he did fail a few times. Or even if you're a person who just joined watching AEW 3 months ago, you're like, oh, so this guy's already lost to Omega before. Oh, this guy's already had his chance at the title before. Fantastic commentating helps a lot with these things, and I think it's a big plus for AEW.
It does, but you can also get lost in it sometimes with the commentary, and it's good. Like, the main difference is, we're talking strictly pay-per-view, so it's much easier to do because you have the same voices all the time. But continually following the product gets a little difficult sometimes, since they added Rampage, because of the revolving door of commentators. Since that show started in August, they've had something like 12 different members of the announce team. Like, they just need consistency in their voices. When you get Excalibur, Tony, and JR at that desk talking about it, you have, I dare say, probably, and this is going to be blasphemous for some people, but for me, this is the best announced team since Heenan and Gorilla. Like some people would, well, JR and King. No, I hated JR and King. Like, they were good.
I think
but they
you're
were
in the minority for that.
They were a product of their era. The difference is, like, for me, this is strictly 2020 talking. Like, in 1999, sure, they were great. They were amazing. But looking back, their quality doesn't hold up because so much of it is shtick. You look back on a J.R. King episode of, like, Monday Night Raw, and half the show is puppies, 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 and slobber knockers, and government mules, and it's all catchphrases, which at the era was great, because that was the era of the catchphrase. And
I accidentally watched a 1999 episode, and it was exactly that.
Like, it just, people harp on Michael Cole in like 2018, 2019. Oh, a vintage Randy Orton, and RKO out of nowhere. Listen to an episode of Raw from 1999, and Jim Ross, the paragon of commentary, is the same thing. Only it's government mule, it's slobber knocker, it's, all of those things that are the same, just in a different era with different words. It's the same thing. It's a product of the production, whereas AEW Jim Ross sounds like, early 90s WCW Jim Ross. There's passion there again, and I love hearing it. And Tony Schiavone, when he's at his peak, is one of the most underappreciated announcers in history. He's a top 5 announcer in history, and nobody talks about him. It's Gordon Soley, it's Lance Russell, it's Jim Ross, it's Gorilla Monsoon, but it's never Tony Schiavone. But
Mike Adamle.
Work, oh, good God. His work stands out. But, Jared hit it. The pacing was awful. I started watching this, the opener like, we finished the buy-in match, and you go pretty much right into the pay-per-view. So, like, from about 7:40 until almost 12 when the pay-per-view ended, you had maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes of promos and vignettes. There was, the Jay Lethal promo was the longest break between matches on the entire card, and that was only like 2-3 minutes. Maybe enough time to go get a drink. Definitely not enough time to go to the bathroom. So it's just, it was horribly paced, and I don't want to be the guy that's like, that shouldn't have been on the card, but watching the card, I couldn't point to anything and be like, well, that shouldn't have happened. But looking back on it, I actually watched the pay-per-view again on Monday so that I could take my time and actually, take breaks and watch it and actually digest it properly without like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. When am I going to go? When's a good place to walk away? You can just stop, pause it, and walk away. And I came to just a startling conclusion. And that is the tag match with Cody and Pac and Malachi and Andrade had no place on this pay-per-view. It is a Dynamite main event. It's a Rampage main event, and it's great in that spot, but it doesn't need to be on this pay-per-view. And looking at the times of the matches proves that when Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, which is probably the second best match on the whole pay-per-view, in my opinion, was 11 minutes. That is the shortest match on the whole night. That's shorter than the buy-in match. That's shorter than every match on the card, but it's one of the best matches because it told the greatest story in such a confined period. Yeah, you had that build up to that match, and it was great, whereas the tag match just felt like, oh crap, we got a pay-per-view and Cody's not on it. Well, we gotta get him out there. Like, is it in service of, the inevitable Cody heel turn that he says I'll never do, but it's clearly coming in like 3 months? Yeah, sure. Great. It serviced that quite nicely. But, you didn't have anything important happen on the heel side of that match. There was nothing like it could have been the Dynamite main event this week, and I'd have been just as satisfied as watching it on the pay-per-view.
You weren't impressed with the story evolving of Pac landing on Cody?
Yeah, I'd have been greatly happy seeing it on Wednesday night, where it should have been.
I mean, that's your match where you could have gone pee if you didn't But to be honest, I didn't have a problem with the pacing at all. The reason being is instead of being like when WWE was the only thing around, you waited for the 1, 2, 3 matches you weren't interested at all in. They pace it in a different way where they have different kinds of matches. They have different kinds of emotions out there. I mean, the CM Punk match was so much different than the what do you call Adam Cole and the Elite, the Super Elite,
the 6-man street
Super Click.
fight. Yeah, a Super Click.
Yeah, the Super Click. That's what I was trying to come up with. That match was way different. It was almost like a TLC type of thing. Was different than the main event. Was different than the opener. And I think you just got so many different flavors that I was okay with it. I'm okay with getting all those different flavors if they're all good. You don't need to throw, a lot of people think that you need to throw in between the 2 last matches that were so good. You got to stumble the Big Show out there to do something for 5 minutes to break it up. I don't feel that way. I can hang on. I do think that All Out, that was a little bit more of a problem than this show. And I thought it was okay. I just I liked how not just different types of matches. In WWE they could be like, oh well, this one's we'll put a table match here, and then we'll put a regular match, and then we'll put. But the different emotions and the different storylines, the different kinds of stories that they were telling with all these matches, I think they arranged it in a way that I thought was great.
The one gripe I take away from this is the minutia thing, because AEW's usually been very good at the minutia, the minute details. Why were the guys in the Falls Count Anywhere dressed for a street fight and not the guys in the actual street fight? Like, that's something that I watched the pay-per-view again. I'm like, wait a minute. The Jungle Express Christian, their shirts and this isn't a street fight. Why are they dressed for a street fight? Like, this is AEW where those things matter. And somebody kind of screwed that one up. Like, well, this was supposed to be a street fight, but we had the actual street fight later in the card. We can't have 2 street fights. And that, just wear your
forgot
gear.
The Inner Circle match was a street fight until they were all out there. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
I thought that too first. I think,
They've got hockey sticks outside.
I see Jungle Express come out. I'm like, oh, this is a street fight. Right. I forgot about that. And it's like, wait a minute. No, this is just Falls Count Anywhere. What?
So I want to spend a little bit of time on 2 matches in particular, and then just the tiniest bit of time on another 2, just because we're tight on time and I got to be up super early. So we'll start off with the one that I think, I don't know if it was Johnny or Jared that just brought it up, but the Inner Circle match. What do you guys think of that? I love what they've done with the Inner Circle. I know they're not together all the time, but I like the idea that a stable can stay together but not have to be on screen together every fucking week like they're hanging off each other's dicks. Not that there's a problem with that, but you know what I mean? Like, I felt like whenever I watched stables in WWE, you never seen them, one of them hanging out with someone else or whatever, and this feels more real to me. So I love Inner Circle, but I also know American Top Team or whatever. What's his face there? Dan
Lambert.
He knows how to get some heat on the mic. Holy crap.
He's Bobby Heenan wearing Ed Hardy clothes. I said that in the wrestling chat back at the beginning of this angle, and
he's
it
fun,
still
though.
holds true.
He's fun. I like him. I enjoy him. Just what were your guys' thoughts on the match?
I loved it, personally. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It was fun. You had those moments where Dan, would come in and get the Bobby Heenan spots, where the guy is down and tag me in, I got him. And then, they get back up and it's like, no, get me out of here. You brawl around and you have fun with it. And it was the nostalgia stuff. Like, I loved the moment, where you did the pre-match stick with the Baron, and it's like, oh, cool, a local legend that, not everybody knows. I'm thinking like 90% of the audience watching this has probably never heard of Baron Von Raschke. I dare say that half this panel knows who Baron is. That's the bottom half, and the top half has probably never seen him in the ring before. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I love it. But, I hope there was a payoff later, and it was a great payoff. With Ethan getting in Katarina Hager's face, and then the Baron, like, you can't talk to a woman that way, and slaps the claw on him. And, you got to see that old school Baron. I loved that spot. And I know damn well, I've known Ethan a long time personally. I know he had a hell of a time with that spot. He probably begged to be the guy to take the claw. And I just love those spots. They were fun. The two Canadian guys beating each other up with hockey sticks, always oddly appropriate, I guess. It was a fun little. It was like 15 minutes. It was fun, and the pay-per-view needed that. It needed a spot of an air of levity. Something to. I don't want to say take a breath, because he couldn't really take a breath, but that match was more for the lulz. It was more for the comedy, for the two MMA guys that aren't professional wrestlers actually performed well. I was shocked by that. 'Cause half the time these guys come in, it's like, I'm better than you. You're garbage. I'm real. You're fake. And they actually leaned into it and had fun and made it work.
Yeah, it was. It's funny how AEW, I feel like they dissect what worked in the past and like they do, and they bring it back, and you're like, wow, this is like such a trip to the past when you see some of these matches done exactly right. And I mean, they do add their own new flavors and things like that as well. But like, it seems like when they rehash something like an old type of match or whatever, that they just do it in such a way you're like, oh my God, this is so satisfying. It's such a throwback. And that's what this type of thing was, it was fun. It was good. Pretty much everything Johnny said, to be honest.
It was a fun street fight, and I really enjoyed the MMA. I'm a fan of people who aren't in the business coming in and kind of
doing it right.
Yeah, and getting it right, because they are fans of the business. They're not coming in as a payday or something. They're coming in to legitimately give this a shot. And it so happens that MMA fighters are really highly trained athletes and kind of fit in perfectly almost. I mean, Junior Dos Santos did a standing moonsault. Just like, what? So a lot of, and the timing was good. Everyone was where they had to be. The Ethan spot was perfect. That swanton off the ladder is probably going to be in the opening video for Dynamite for the next year, which I think was probably the purpose behind the spot. Just the way they filmed it, from the floor aiming up, it was like Sammy crashing into your living room. So it was just perfect stuff, and I really enjoyed it. Jericho got his comeuppance, beat the guy at the end, and the staple to the balls was it's a finish.
Danielson and Miro, guys.
A wrestling match.
Yeah, it was good, but it felt different.
Wait, we're gonna talk mostly about these two matches. You're gonna miss a match, and you're gonna add this one in.
No,
I'm
these
disappointed.
are the two we're not talking about as long.
Don't worry, we will get to Ty Conti. Get over her Brazilian,
I hope that sentence was finished with jiu-jitsu and not whack.
Yeah, you were going to say jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking about MMA, was I not? I don't know what you guys are thinking. What match were we talking about again?
The wrestling match on the card that was early.
Oh, yes. I think we've kind of been spoiled by Danielson so far, in the sense that he's worked his kind of match every time he's out there so far. This time around, I think he let Miro have a lot, which is different for Danielson's matches in AEW so far. And this is not a bad thing whatsoever, but it was very different to what we've seen from Danielson so far. So to give Miro as much as he did, and it was a great match, and Danielson's matches are always, they stick out in the structure of the card and every show he's on, because we're so used to seeing, Daniel Bryan and WWE style and all this, and then you see Bryan Danielson come do what he does, and it's like, oh my God, we went 10 years without this guy. We have to like almost reacquaint ourselves with his style. So, and he's the number one contender, and the upcoming match with Hangman is going to be phenomenal and different again because Danielson gets to work a babyface match for the title. Another different style for him.
So let me ask you guys that before anybody else chimes in on that match, just really quickly. Again, as someone who has tried to follow AEW as much as possible, but my only wrestling experience other than that is WWE/WWF and WCW, right? Maybe bits and pieces of Ring of Honor and TNA. But like, should we just assume that there's no way Danielson's going to beat Page for the title? Like,
No.
Or is
I don't
that
think
going to
so.
happen for a while?
I think I'd actually be willing to go on record as saying that Hangman Adam, I love him, is going to have the shortest run of the 4 champions so far, and I think it's going to be by a large margin. I would not be shocked if Danielson doesn't win it soon, like in this shot. I think it sort of furthers that Hangman angle in a good way. Like everybody assumes this is the peak, but what if it's not? There's still a lot of great storytelling that could go on here that I think you're sort of building towards. Because I think part of the moment that you had with, with the Young Bucks kind of switching corners at the end of the match was a prelude to something bigger. You had the celebration with the Dark Order post-match. I think there's still more to this angle. I think there's still more to the Hangman story. And I love it. And I would not be shocked if he didn't lose it to Danielson, who is arguably right now the best wrestler in the world. And he's proving it time and time again, out there working all these different style matches with all these different people and having great matches with people that, like, yes, it seems like every week Danielson's walking into the locker room and being like, I want to work with that guy next week. And you get a great match out of it. And it's working. This week he's working Uno. For gosh sakes. I mean, when was the last time Uno had a big singles match? When he challenged for the TNT title 4 or 5 months ago? He's a minor player in the background, and he's going to go out there and he's going to have a match. People are going to be like, damn, I didn't know Uno could actually wrestle. Yet, there are other people who are like, yeah, he's actually pretty damn talented. That's why he has a job. But I think that Hangman is going to have a shorter title run. Is Danielson the guy to do it? I think he might, because I think at this point MJF needs his title program, and I don't think Hangman MJF is the program right now. They kind of screwed up with the 4 pillars thing.
No, they didn't.
When they didn't make Hangman one of them,
because he's a drunk.
But they just
That's true.
How old is Adam Page compared to
Like
the other?
20,
I want to say he's like 26, maybe.
something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
so
mid
He's very young.
that doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
No, like he is. I think he's been in the business longer than MJF, but I think they're pretty comparable in age.
Johnny, what were your thoughts on Danielson Miro?
I think it was an amazing wrestling match. You isolated the body parts in a very classic NWA way, which was I think what this match was required of. The big foreign heel who's no longer a foreigner, but that big monster heel against the small babyface worker. It was very reminiscent to me of a Ricky Steamboat match. I love that about Bryan Danielson because he has always been able to evoke those memories of yore. The old school, the old timers. You can watch a Bryan Danielson match and be like, damn, that's amazing. And at the same time, you're like, hey, I saw the Ricky Steamboat in that match. I like that. I appreciate that. That was fun. He throws nods and clips to old people. Like, we talk about we talked about Punk doing it in his comeback match when he, did all of those Bret Hart spots. But Danielson does that a lot too, when he'll do spots from other people and, emotions and evoke different things. And that match was very much like a Steamboat Flair match, and I loved it for that because it was good, it was fun, it reminded people that Miro is a very talented wrestler and not just a bruiser, and he needed that. I enjoyed the match a great deal, and yeah,
because he was working that 300-pound Ric Flair.
You're right. It was more like a Nikita Koloff Magnum match, but still.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
What do you think of
I
this
thought
one,
this
Kieran?
match actually kind of got. It was good. I thought it was really good, but it's probably like my fourth or fifth best on the card.
That's not a knock, though. I mean,
No, it's not. They were all fantastic. There was nothing that I hated. There was no match I hated on the card.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say without like breaking into it here, just simple answers. What was everyone's favorite match on the card?
Main
MJF
event
Darby.
for me.
MJF and Darby was, I thought, the best
That had
match on
some
the card. I
huge
loved it.
moments.
I gotta say, Punk Kingston.
Punk Kingston was really good too. That's the three for me. That's the top three. You're all right for me.
Yeah, I think the fact that we each gave separate answers speaks to the strength of the card. Also, there wasn't a consensus.
It was very, yeah. Like
we
the
loved
top
that
matches,
Cody
I think-
match.
The top matches are very interchangeable to a certain degree, but the crappy matches, I don't think there'd be much discussion on that.
Sorry, Kieran, did you get to finish off your thoughts on the Danielson match?
Oh, I mean, I don't have much else to say other than that. Watching Bryan Danielson sling himself around the ring and just fucking launch himself into people is just you can't get enough of it. When you see it, it doesn't. You see wrestlers and you see sometimes they're jumping, but they're not. They're not really launching themselves fully at someone. The same way that Darby Allin does when he jumps out of the ring. But Bryan Danielson's got some weight to him, so it's not the same as Darby Allin launching his 100 pounds soaking wet at someone. Watching Bryan Danielson do his thing, like his submissions look real. The way he launches himself at people looks like he's trying to launch all of his weight forward at you, and everything he does is believable. His crowd interaction is amazing. So, and Miro is a good wrestler. I don't think anybody understands why Miro is in AEW and not still in WWE.
That's an entirely different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, I know what you mean, but like, yeah, it's crazy. He's a fantastic worker. Earlier, the problem was earlier when you said, well, I want to talk about two matches a little bit and two matches a little bit more. I'm afraid that we're not talking about MJF and Darby Allin. Is that not happening? Because that match I could talk about for a long time. You're muted, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the match. That match was so great. Them setting up the pile driver thing for a long time. Going to pile drive him off the top, and no matter how many times you see Coffin drop onto the apron, you're like, "What the fuck is he doing? Why is he doing that?"
You're muted, monkey. Muted.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. He's going to stop me from talking about the match.
No. I knew I was muted. I'm trying to figure something out here.
Oh, you're sitting there tapping at your mic like you don't.
I can't hear him at all. Keep going, Kieran.
Them setting up the pile driver was amazing. Them setting up MJF hurting his own knee by doing the backbreakers was awesome. The only one problem I had, and they do this so often in matches, the figure four gets put on MJF. It's on the wrong knee. His hurt knee was the one that's bent. The one that hurts in a figure four is the one going straight. Because the other knee is on top of it, bending it at like. Anyways,
stop bringing logic to professional wrestling holds, Kieran. That's not how wrestling
always
works.
me. That's always me. But anyways, just the way that they set up everything in the match was awesome. And then in the end, the finish, he gives Darby the skateboard and says, "Here, come do it." And then. Obviously he doesn't because he's a good guy and setting up the good character, doing something where you can finish Darby and not take any shine off of him. And then MJF basically says, "You're not going to do it? Guess what? I fucking do this every day of the week." Boom. Like I don't fucking care. Like I don't have any honor. I'm MJF. and I'll do whatever it takes to win. I thought was an amazing ending. Like I said, setting up the knee, setting up the pile driver, everything that happened in that match was working for something later. It was all with intent. And I thought, obviously, the emotion in the title match trumps everything. But I thought the wrestling match put together, that was the best match of the card. And that's saying a lot because there was fantastic matches all over the card.
One thing I really liked about MJF Darby was that coffin drop on the floor. So MJF is set up kind of perpendicular with the post there. I don't know if Darby was going to undershoot on that or something, but MJF is like getting up off the ground, and Darby just kills him dead with it. Because, I mean, most of the time guys just lay there and eat it. And MJF is like, no, I'm leaning into this.
That whole spot was amazing. Like, you see him inside the ring, and it's like, you're fine right there. Don't move. He can't hit a coffin drop from that angle. Yep. But you roll out and you end up in the perfect spot for him to just like do it to the ground. It's like, you stupid. And it was perfect. I loved the spot. I loved all, everything. Like you've both said, everything was in service to something later in the match, which was great. My only concern is, are you telling me that MJF walks around with that diamond ring in his trunks all day? Like, like that. I mean, it's like,
it doubles as a diamond cock ring.
It's like, where do you keep that in your trunks for the whole match and not give it away? Like, usually you'll see them loaded up somewhere. You'll see them stick it in the tights, or they'll get it the handoff from a manager, from somebody or it'll be in a corner or something. You didn't have that in this match. So when you see him, hand off the skateboard in a very Eddie Guerrero-esque way, which was very nice. I liked the, all of the head nods to Eddie all night. I enjoyed.
There was like 27 of them.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It was the anniversary of his passing, so
I mean, by the third frog splash in a match, I'm like, okay,
we get it. We get it.
I think the worst problem is, remember he was getting everybody to kiss the ring before? Everyone who's doing that is like,
you have to assume he sanitizes it in between matches, I hope. That's Wardlow's job.
He doesn't kiss it himself, so I don't see why he would.
That whole finish,
his name.
That whole finish was just perfect. Yeah, you see it coming, and it's like, okay, what are you doing? As soon as he turns his back on Darby like that, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you turning your... Oh, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a skateboard. Drop it on the ground and kick it away without moving away from him. And you do the same thing, obviously not, in a pro wrestling fashion, but, hand it to the referee and that's it. Keep your eyes on your opponent. Like, rule number 1, and turns away and eats a diamond ring in the face. It was great. I love that match. I love that finish. And within 3 years, that match is a pay-per-view main event. No question in my mind.
I think that was amazing that they put it on the card so early. So early being the first match on the main card. And I feel like that is them saying, like, this is the future, because they do that at WrestleMania quite often as well. They throw in what you think will be the future.
Everybody forgets the old school way to book a card. Like, everybody think, well, Hulk Hogan is the main event. Guess what, folks? The Hogan match was the last match before intermission. It was halfway through the card. The main event didn't go on last. It went on third. And that just
then
got
they can
forgotten.
announce the main event to the next show while people were still in the building.
You got to set up the angle for next month, because we're going to be back here in a month or a week or whatever it is, depending on the territory and which city it is. But, you got to set up the next show, and let's do it before intermission so we can sell tickets while everybody's hot. Everybody forgets
so Hogan
that.
and Virgil can go fly to Las Vegas. Don't believe me? Ask him.
Stop at the Olive Garden first.
All right, fellas, we gotta bring this one up.
If you can't ask Virgil or Hogan anything and get the truth. Neither of them.
That's very
This is
true.
the way to end the night. I'm fading hard here anyway. Punk Kingston. I've seen a lot of online feedback towards this match. I've seen a lot of Rock Hogan comparisons, even though I don't think it's on that level. The way that the audience responded to the match. These guys looking at me before, and I'm talking, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I've seen it out there, and it's like from some
I
of the
get what you mean
biggest
now.
I just liked the match. It was a straight up brawl, and I thought that was cool.
I mean,
Not a whole lot of showmanship.
The only comparison to Rock Hogan is that, the crowd turned Punk heel through the course of the match.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the point. And I loved it for that because it reminded you that at his best, CM Punk was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he's ever been at his peak, he has been the heel. Every summer of Punk that people point to as the greatest peaks of his career, guess what, guys? He was the heel.
Yeah, but I mean, in that last heel run, he had the long run as champ there, where it was he started face and eventually went heel. Like even when he was heel, he had almost half the audience cheering for him. So,
but you're always going to have that with a lot of people. It became cool to cheer the heel a long time ago. I mean, look at people say like the 80s. You never cheered the heel in the 80s. Go watch an NWA card from like 1986 and look at
those
half
heels
the crowd
were straight
cheering.
out of Compton.
Well, I was going to say, you see half the crowd cheering for the Horsemen every night. Cheering for the heel is not a new thing. It's not a new occurrence. Yes, Austin made it huge again with Austin 316, and you cheered the heel who, was the everyman who became the babyface, but never changed the character. Austin 316, I just whipped your ass, is the same as, WrestleMania 19 Austin, who's on his way out the door. The character did not change except for that brief period where he turned into a folk singer.
I mean, that
the
was
thing I
good.
like about Kingston and Punk is anytime you can get a pay-per-view co-main event in front of 10,000 people based on a storyline that started in Clarksville, Indiana in July of 2005, I'm here for it. And the fact that it was legit, 100%. And also, Eddie Kingston wrote an article. I forget the name of the publication, but if you Google Eddie Kingston article, it will probably come up, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it.
Talking about his Players Tribune article from last week?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tremendous article. Go look it up. Go read it. It's amazing. And that's the thing with Kingston and Punk is both of these guys, it's not a gimmick. Like, yes, they're working together, but they are who they are up
they're
until
two sides
that
of
point.
the same coin.
Exactly. And that's why they work so well together because, yes, they're working an angle, but those feelings were real at one point. That's why they can tap into them so well. So the match being the way it was, it only needed to go 11 minutes. Punk getting his ass kicked for a decent chunk of the match means Eddie gets at least a little bit of redemption. He didn't get the win, but he got to.
He didn't want the win. He just wanted to beat up Punk, and he succeeded.
Exactly. So everyone got what they needed out of the match, including Punk teasing the 5-knuckle shuffle because he's a.
He hit all the 5 moves of Doom. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, that was
I think. I thought this was the first real Punk match that we've seen. I think we saw Punk shaking off the cobwebs or the rust or the whatever. I didn't really think the Darby Allin match was good, but it wasn't close to the best match on that card. And seeing him wrestle a few times on Dynamite and things like that, I honestly thought I was really excited for this Punk, to come back and stuff like that, but he's not really getting that spot. He's not really satisfying me in a way that I thought that
it's happy-go-lucky Punk.
But this time we saw him eyes bulging out of his head. Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you! And we saw him yell in the middle of the match to the crowd, which he didn't really do up until this point. And he talks during his matches. He's a character even during his matches. And this is where it happened. And And that's one thing that Eddie is amazing at too. Like Eddie is believable as his character. He is his character. You're right. He's so believable, and I think that it's a perfect match for them to go in there together. And yeah, I thought this was the first time where I was like, shit, this is CM Punk. Like this is the real CM Punk, who fucking gets emotions going through a match, tells a great storyline, and wrestles really well. Like Punk is a good wrestler, a good to great wrestler. I don't think he's fucking way off in his actual wrestling, but he can get emotion going like as only the great people can. You know, as only the really great wrestlers can. He can tell a story in a match. So, and I think this was the first time he really put it on display, and it got me way more excited for the future of CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. I didn't know him before AEW, and when he showed up, I was like, Jeremy, who's this fucking fat beard swelling fucking loser? And he's like, oh, he's awesome. And I was like, he's not as awesome as that fucking Warhorse guy that you said, right? Like, because that guy sucked. And then it turned out Eddie Kingston is awesome, and I think he's amazing. So it was great to see him get a really good moment there. Like him fucking shaking his head, like fucking having a blast, making Punk bleed was a big moment on the show too. So great match.
It was vintage Eddie.
Random question, actually, about that 6-man tag that just came to mind. Is it just me, or did Adam Cole not blade?
I didn't notice.
It looked like he used a blood packet.
I will say this. I watched him, you know, again, this is 2021 pro wrestling, so I think it's like perfectly great. I watched him streaming yesterday on Twitch. No visual signs of any stitches or, you know, butterflies or anything like that. So unless he did it like deep up in the hairline where you can't see it, there was nothing forehead visibly, no bruising.
Punk, you at least saw the droplets of blood on the floor and everything, and that, like, right? And
I think it might have been hardware somewhere that just, you know, closed up really nicely and we didn't see it, and it was in an awkward place in the hair or something.
Because it just looked like it wasn't flowing or anything, or I was like, what's going on? Like,
that's why I thought hard, like, because it didn't, you know, he didn't get the crimson mask.
Yeah,
that's when you know it's intentional. Like when you see, like, I mean, everybody's cut themselves in one way. You know, human blood does not flow like a spigot unless something goes terribly wrong.
Yeah,
you know, from the forehead like that. It's very quick to close. It's very, you know, it clots off very quickly and stops bleeding and cleans up. That's how you can tell generally hard way from, you know, blade, by how quickly it goes back to being, you know, I don't want to say clean. Because you always have that pink staining, but, you know, like not actively bloody.
I liked how Eddie gave CM Punk and himself the mask.
Yeah.
That was vintage Eddie. Like, that match felt like, I mean, I guess the best comparison for me was, this is the best I've seen Eddie Kingston since he was feuding with Claudio back in like 2009 in Chikara. I mean, I know Jared's going to remember when I say that, but
that's Cesaro in WWE for all.
Yeah.
The reference.
Chikara? What's a Chikara?
Yeah. It's a Chikara.
I'm
Chikara
joking. I do know about it. I do know about it.
If you don't, it's one of the best indie companies you've probably never heard of. That was the greatest at long-term storytelling. That was burnt, of course, due to the stupidity of ownership and management.
Last question here, guys, just because I got to run. So keep it short, please. What's next for Punk? Where do they go there from here? Because it doesn't seem like he legitimately hasn't had a long-term story. It's been one-off. This would be the closest thing to it, unless they continue it to another match, even it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think we're done with this. You know, I think there's still more meat on this bone. You know, because I think the lack of handshake at the end kind of told you there's more to this. You know, because Eddie still doesn't respect Punk. I think that's what we're building towards is Punk earning back Eddie's respect in a sort of way. It's crazy to think that Punk is the one looking for, you know, validation in this, but he is, because to me, I look at this, AEW's done a great job of storytelling in such a way that, you know, like I said, Eddie Kingston and CM Punk are two sides of the same coin. They're two journeyman wrestlers who care about the business, who go about it in a certain way, wrestle, fairly similar styles to a certain degree, and one made it big and one didn't. Eddie spent his entire career tolling and trolling and trying to get bigger and performing in front of 10 people in auditoriums across the country. Punk went off to, 15, 20,000 people and walked away. That's the ultimate sin for Eddie Kingston, is that he walked away. He gave it up. He quit. He's a quitter. And now, he's trying to validate himself. I might have quit, but I'm still, there's still meat on this bone. I think there's still a fair amount of story left to tell, and I'm here for it if they keep it going.
Well, so that clearly means they must not be keeping it going, because I think you've gotten every CM Punk prediction question wrong on this channel so far.
Yeah, but I can write great shit. TK uses my shit, just not when I tell him to or how I tell him to.
I'm still waiting on that Punk MJF storyline.
Hey, MJF did it with Darby. Thank you very much. The exact angle I wrote was the Halloween vignette with Darby. Thank you very much.
Not to mention Punk not being there on August 20th. That one too. Anyways, I'm agreeing with Johnny though. I'd be okay with them continuing that. I just don't think they're going to. In the post-show conference, it sounded like they were going to move him on to something else. I'm ready for something longer term. What is he, like 7-0 now, or 8-0, something like that, or 6-0, something like that. I think, we can just say he's on level with, like in the story anyways, with a lot of other people, and let's just move on to a normal storyline. I think that's why I like the Eddie Kingston thing, because like it felt definitely more natural than anything thus far.
I think that he needs to. I think what we need is for Cody to come out at some point, and I don't think it'll happen next. But I think the next one that'll be interesting is Cody comes out and does his whole thing about, he loves this and his dad was this and blah blah blah, and he pulls his Uber face, sort of stuff out. And then CM Punk just comes out and says, what a bunch of fucking garbage. I'm so fucking tired of seeing you come out here and do this and blah, blah, blah. And like, all the fancy suits and all this stupid stuff and centering the show around yourself and popping up and I feel like that's whereas heel CM Punk needs to come out is to just call out Cody on all his bullshit. And I'm not one of the people who really hates Cody, but there are a lot of people out there that now are kind of turning on Cody and saying, oh, he just inserts himself in this and blah, blah, blah. And we know what's going to happen when it comes to Cody Rhodes. And I feel like CM Punk should be the guy who comes out and calls him out on that.
That's the Cody solved racism sign.
I want those two kept so far away they're not even in the same building.
So it's going to happen next week, guys. Confirmed.
I don't. AEW has done an amazing job of avoiding that. They don't want their ex-WWE guys working together. I think Miro and Bryan Danielson is the first time they've actively done a match that probably happened on WWE television.
Yeah, Matt Hardy and Christian, but I mean that's
did
not
they
really
actually
the same.
work?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
They had like a mini feud.
Yeah.
But just they avoided. For the most part, I don't remember that one, but okay. It's just I don't want those two working together because, quite frankly, there's no reason for. Like, yes, you paint a good picture with that, but it's not time for that yet. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
There's
next.
still more builds. Like maybe 2 feuds from now. Like they need to keep this Cody Rhodes. I'm always a baby face, like my daddy before me and his daddy before him. I'm a baby face, and I'll always be a baby face until eventually, he gets driven to being a heel. And I just, it's not time for that yet. That angle doesn't make sense yet. But in 6 months, 8 months, okay, but not yet.
Jer, finish us off, man.
I think there's meat on
Why
the
do you
bone
always
for
say
Punk at
that?
Kingston.
He likes
Why
getting
does your
finished
head
off
always
by
go
men.
there?
You always say that. You're like, finish us off.
He likes getting finished off by men. What's the problem?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I don't, but what's wrong with that?
Hang on, let me
Not
find
that
my
there's something
diamond
wrong
cock
with
ring.
that.
Aren't we due for that soon? Anyway,
A diamond cock ring?
no, the dynamite diamond.
I think so.
Usually it's
And
around
hey,
Thanksgiving.
there's something for CM Punk to do. He can win that. I think there's meat on the bone still left for Kingston and Punk, but I don't know if it's something they'll go directly to, because now they've got 3.5 months till the next pay-per-view. They just had like 8 weeks in between shows. So they've got a lot of time to kill. However, they do have their first Clash of the Champions special coming up.
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, whatever. Not
You're
Florida in
thinking
87.
you're thinking WCW, not Florida.
Yeah. So that's coming up in, I think,
January?
January. I saw.
They gave the
Potentially.
dates. January something.
Yeah, okay. So while it's not a pay-per-view, at least it's something they can build to, but I don't know if it's
Winter is
something they'll
coming.
go back
Dynamite
to.
is also coming. That's a big deal every year so far.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got options there if they want to come back to it. Personally, I'd be fine with just watching Punk go beat up 2.0 a bunch more. You know, 'cause
I'm
it
all
puts
for
those guys
2.0 on my
TV.
television. I love those guys. I've
Exactly,
loved those
right.
guys forever. If we could find Twiggy and Pornstar 1 to get them against 2.0 in AEW, I'm all for that.
Yep.
If you don't understand that, Google was it
We don't.
2.0 versus what was they
The
they
Rock and
rocking
Cock
Cock?
Express.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Wind
intros
down.
to that match are just epic. And you have Grado as the special guest ref to complete the trifecta of greatest indie wrestling entrances in history.
All right, fellas. This was fun. I got to be up in like 5 hours, so getting the fuck out of here. Jared, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can find me at Jamie Virtue on Twitter. And I also do a football podcast with this guy over here. And you can find us on Twitter at HandoffInside. And if you enjoy all of this wrestling content, I am working on a Google Drive of wrestling content. So hit me up on Twitter for information on that. And yeah, wrestling's awesome. And drink Coke.
You know what? You know where you can find Jeremy? Looking up diamond-studded cock rings in about 5 minutes.
Damn right.
He's definitely going to do it.
MJF Glory Hole.
Diamonds.
Enter.
Johnny, where can everybody find you at outside of the inside handoff?
You can find me trying to forget the last 45 seconds of my life. You can find me at all those places Jared said, except his personal Twitter. I don't hang around there. He's horrible at that. Bros Before Pros, all those fun places. I'm actually going to be filming some stuff here as soon as we get off the air. You can watch me fail horribly at Inscription because that game's fucking hard.
Can confirm, watching him fail at games is entertaining. I watched him fail at Far Cry 6 for like an hour and a half.
Whoa,
and he didn't even know I was there.
Well, that sounds.
I wasn't failing. I was just going to the wrong.
You couldn't
places.
get off the boat.
That boat was hard. Thank you.
That's what she said.
It's funny because when I did my side character after that, I beat the boat in like 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck.
Speaking of which, we
right?
didn't get to cover this earlier before Kieran goes. I'm so getting this. I can't help but get that. I was.
I want them to sell.
You're going to pay $200 for that.
I am.
It's going to be more than 200 Canadian.
Yeah, it will be. There's a lot of shit there, though.
That's the problem for me. Like he told me this afternoon he was getting it, and I'm like, I love it. It's great, but I don't think the collectibles are worth that price tag. You know, the Vibroblade letter opener, that's nice. The hilts, I'm expecting something like made in China type, quality stuff, and You know, the Pazak deck
I
is
mean-
nice. I'll pay like $25 for a Pazak deck so we can play Pazak.
I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not as cool as if it had like a Darth Malik cock ring in there or anything.
And this was the lesser set, but I'm gonna go all out.
The Ebonhawk
That was
metal
2
pin
months
could maybe
ago.
be used as like a nipple ring.
I mean, if it wasn't my favorite game ever, then I probably wouldn't. But I mean, I have 2 favorite games ever, and it's this one and Gears of War. And
At that price tag, it needs to include a statue of some sort for me.
well, yeah, I do have a Malaga statue here. I just the throwback to the OG Knights of the Old Republic Xbox case is really cool, and the books there, and I don't know. It just, for me, this is a dream. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's not stupid expensive because, yeah, it's stupid expensive.
Well, I have the Xbox case already.
Kieran, where can everybody find you at next time, man?
Oh, I don't know.
Under a bridge.
We have Star Wars Fandom. It's coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing all of the Book of Boba Fett and more. Can't wait to dive into more Star Wars stuff. It's gonna be fun again.
Why are we
but for
talking about the
Jared-
world-class wrestling show from 81?
You
for
are
that
every
guy-
fucking day.
Wait, are we talking Christmas Star Wars where the
Yes, Christmas Star Wars.
where the fabulous Freebirds turned heel and shocked
You-
all of Texas?
That was
You
82, yes.
Damn, I thought it
can't
was 81.
Have both these guys on the same show. I keep telling you this, Sean. I keep telling you.
Well, on that note, we'll be around. We'll see.
It's like
how
a
often,
Gordon Soley Lance Russell podcast.
but we'll be around.
Can I go